although he should never have been condemned, for he was the best amongst all human beings. The rishi did not congratulate his son, but on the contrary, began to repent, saying, "Alas, what a great sinful act was performed by my son. He has awarded heavy punishment for an insignificant offense." Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The king is the best of all human beings. He is the representative of God and is never to be condemned for any of his actions. In other words, the king can do no wrong. The king may order hanging of a culprit son of a Brahman, but he doesn't become sinful for killing a Brahmana. Even if there is something wrong with the king, he is never to be condemned. A medical practitioner may kill a patient by mistaken treatment, but such a killer is never condemned to death. So what to speak of a good and pious king like Maharaj Parikshit? In the Vedic way of life, the king is trained to become a Rajarshi or a great saint. Although he is ruling as king, it is the king only by whose good government the citizens can live peacefully and without any fear. The Rajarshis would manage their kingdom so nicely and piously that their subjects would respect them as if they were the Lord. That is the instruction of the Vedas. The king is called Narendra, or the best amongst the human beings. How then could a king like Maharaj Parikshit be condemned by an inexperienced, puffed up son of a Brahman, even though he had attained the powers of a qualified Brahman? Since Sameka Rishi was an experienced good Brahmana, he did not approve of the actions of his condemned son. He began to lament for all that his son had done. The king was beyond the jurisdiction of curses as a general rule. And what to speak of a good king like Maharaj Parikshit? The offense of the king was most insignificant, and his being condemned to death was certainly a very great sin for Shringi. Therefore, Rishi Shamika regretted the whole incident. The Sanstha Bhaktivedanta Purporto Madhyanatimirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Ate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Shashunyavadi Pashyanta Deshadarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading from the chapter Parikshit cursed by a Brahmana boy. We have seen the curse which was delivered by a Brahmana boy, Shringi, and then that boy goes to the ashram, and then he sees his father with a dead snake garlanded around his neck. Immediately Shringi becomes very emotional, starts crying, and then he informs his father what he has done, that he has cursed Parikshit Maharaj. So Nishamya, hearing that incident, Shaptam, sharp, this is a Hindi word derived from Sanskrit, Shaptam, Adadarham Narendram. So he has given a sharp, he has cursed Narendram, Nara Indra, that is the king, is the best of the humankind. He is Indra among the Naras. is the best amongst the human beings. Sa Brahmano, then that Shamika Rishi Brahmana, Atmajam Abhyananda, he has not congratulated his son. Oh, he has done very nicely. He never congratulated. But on the other hand, he started repenting, regretting. Aho, Bata, Amho, alas, what a great sinful act you have committed. Adhyate Krutam, you have committed a great sinful act. Alpiyasi Droha, what is that act? For a small insignificant thing, offense, Ururdhamo, you have given a great punishment. What is this intelligence? So Shamika Rishi is not happy with his son's action. And he can, because he is a learned Brahmana, experienced Brahmana, he could see that the son has committed a great offense by cursing Maharaj Parikshit. So, for a small mistake, giving a big punishment is not good. Alpiyasi droha, for a small offense. Ururdhamaha, a great punishment. So, this is a problem with the Shringi's estimation of the issue. The issue is very small, alpiyasi, but Shringi has taken it as a very big and serious problem. Because he is puffed up and then inexperienced, he doesn't have experience of how to estimate the issue. So then, because puffed up, as what? He has puffed up that I am a Brahman. So moment he became proud of his position, obviously he will see Maharaj Parikshit as an inferior person, somebody lower than him. That's what has happened here. Shringi thought, Arey, you are a dog, supposed to be in front of the house. How is it that you are coming inside and taking away the eatables? These are the kinds of words Shringi is using. That shows that he is very proud of his position as a Brahmana, and then he started minimizing Parikshit's position. See, estimation means you should properly calculate the position of Maharaj Parikshit. But because he is puffed off, emotions have taken over, he started miscalculating the position of Parikshit Maharaj. He considered him as very insignificant. And then he considered his Brahmana's position, his father's position, as the most important and powerful. And so he felt, how can an insignificant beggar, a security guard, he can come and offend my father, who is so exalted. So that's how, although the offense is actually LPSE, he considered it as very big, and then he has delivered a curse. But you can see here, Shamika Rishi's assessment is very balanced, is accurate. Because of his experience, he could see that this is a very small thing. Where is Parikshit Maharaj? He is Narendra, he is a representative of God, and not only that, he is a Raja Rishi. He is also a Rishi. Raja Rishi, Shamika is a Brahmana Rishi. So he is an ordinary person, an extraordinarily advanced personality in devotion to the Lord. So such an exalted king. So Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport many points connected to the king. King or the administrator or the in charge is generally can do no wrong. He is never to be condemned for any of his actions. See what happens, a king like Maharaj Parikshit, who is the emperor of the entire kingdom, entire planet, he has to take obviously innumerable decisions on a day-to-day basis. And those decisions, those actions should never be condemned. Within whatever is possible, within his capacity, the king takes a call, he performs an action. That should not be condemned. Because the general rule is that he can never do wrong. And also, what to talk about a pious king like Maharaj Parikshit? Obviously, he should not be condemned. So here we can see how in the Vedic culture things are so nicely managed. King's position is very, very important position. Why? Because of his government only, people can remain peaceful and fearless and then practice their life, spiritual lives nicely. If the king becomes a rogue and he obstructs his citizens not to practice spiritual life, then human life is spoiled. The whole purpose of human life is how we can progress in Krishna consciousness or our spiritual life. If that chance is not given by the king, then it is spoiled. Like a King Vena, he was like that. He has become a rogue. And then so the sages and the rishis, they saw, generally they don't interfere with the king's activities. They know that king can do no wrong. Generally, if he is a pious king, devoted king, then all his actions should be taken favorably. We should not condemn every small actions. Those sages, they know that the king we should not point out any mistakes or condemn the king like that. But here, this person has gone against God. King Veena, he started suppressing all God-conscious activities. So that's when the sages have to interfere. But here Parikshit Maharaj said completely ulta. He is a rishi by himself. He is a great devotee, an exalted devotee of the Supreme Personality. And then he is ruling very nicely. When he saw that Kali is trying to enter, you saw how Parikshit Maharaj has taken an action. He has not kept quiet. As soon as a Maya's influence, Kali's influence is infiltrating into the kingdom, the king has to take steps. He has to ensure that illusion doesn't percolate into the community, into the kingdom. He should ensure that Kali's influence is not percolating. How to recognize Kali's influence? If the quarrels are increasing, that means there is a Kali's influence is increasing. But of course, in a Vaishnava community, sometimes quarrels can come, difference of opinions can come, but they should be considered transcendental. Why? Because all quarrels are centered around Krishna. Somebody says gulab jamun, somebody says rasgulla. Where is the fight there? But even if there is some fight, that has to be considered transcendental. So it is not Kali's influence, it's an individuality of the devotees. He may want to offer the Lord in a certain way, so that has to be that should not be condemned. That is, those quarrels are alpiyasi, they're very small. By preaching, by encouraging, we can handle all this. So, Parikshit Maharaj was very nicely ruling the planet. As long as he was there, the whole planet was under the subjugation of Vedic culture. Whole world was practicing Vedic culture. Not easy, huh? Just to manage one little center, so much halla gulla we have to go through. And then imagine ruling a state, even more tough. Ruling a country, even more tough. And imagine ruling the planet. How difficult it was. How is it that they're able to manage? Because they kept the Vedic culture intact. What is this culture means? Culture means, it reflects in the activities, it reflects in the way they construct things, they conduct events, they conduct festivals. Everywhere you can see there is a background culture is there. There is a culture. For example, if you go to some of the country, now I'm coming from Hyderabad to Vijayawada, and as soon as I crossed Telangana, entered into the state, and suddenly I'll see so many billboards, posters. Everywhere the politicians are there, and if you analyze these boards, they will depict in a certain way. Even politicians have their own parampara. They'll put first this face, next that face, then next that. It's called culture. You see, in every board you will see there is a certain culture reflecting. There is a principle working behind. And then so many, every pole you will see one board after board. And long ago I happened to go to Malaysia, and then you will see not even one billboard. You don't see any boards. Here and there, rarely you will see one board here and there. No political boards. Even if they are having man and woman pictures, very respectful. Very, very respectful depiction of a man and a woman. Now here in the cities, if you go and see these billboards, and always man and woman pictures, and very worse representation. You see the culture? Culture means what is driving this poster? What is that which is driving? Somebody is very materialistic, somebody is little more respectful. But if it is a Krishna consciousness which is driving, then the culture will be different. There will be boards, but you will see only Krishna. You may see paramparas, but only exalted personalities like Parikshit Maharaj. You will not see loafers. All the loafers and thieves is a thievery parampara, what they represent on the boards. Who is behind them to steal the public money? This is what it is. They control the the resources of the planet. That's why most of the politicians are like very demoniac. They control these resources, and then they steal all these resources. Although tena tektvena bunjita, they're supposed to take what is due, but they simply take away, they exploit all these resources. And then millions of people are under poverty, struggling and suffering for basic necessities. See, a very bad culture. So Parikshit Maharaj's time, the Vedic culture was all pervading. Varnashrama was there. People know how to behave. People know how to conduct themselves. Because culture is there, then management becomes very easy. This is the secret. The secret of managing is that first of all you should ensure culture. For example, we all assemble in this temple hall at 4:30 and then we offer our prayers. It's a culture. This is called culture. Our behavior is driven by Krishna conscious principles. Our posters are driven by Krishna conscious principles. Some drama we do, say conduct some drama or cultural activities, they're all driven by Krishna conscious principles. You can see, all activities are driven by Krishna conscious. That's called culture. So, if culture is maintained, spiritual culture is maintained, then management is easy. You can manage even world also. Entire world you can manage because culture is there. For example, when Parikshit Maharaj goes, people are assembled along the routes. They are glorifying Pandavas. They are glorifying Parikshit Maharaj. This is culture. They know who is who. Great respect they are showing. So, one important aspect of culture is that respect. Respect has to be given. In Vaishnava community, seniors have to be respected. They should not be envied. There can never be envy towards the senior. And they should be respected. Equals. There should be a nice exchange of ideas and thoughts. Exchange of discovery. Let us say you read something, some nice interesting statement is there. You discovered. Exchange. You can exchange. Not what you found fault. Exchange of faults is not called. That is not culture. Nicely, you should exchange about Krishna. He is the only object of our speech. So Krishna has to be exchanged. And then if somebody is younger to you, we should respectfully help, not minimizing, not making fun. Very respectfully we should deal. Respect is everywhere, senior, juniors, but that gets reflected in a different way. For seniors, we pay our obeisances and show our respect. Friends, we exchange about Krishna, enlighten each other. We hear from seniors and then we distribute or we exchange thoughts. We help each other. This is friendliness. If you have little prasad extra, share with other devotees. That is friendly behavior. You sat and you have a glass full of sweet. Next person also seated, but he doesn't have anything. Share little bit. That is called friend. You are a friend. And then juniors, yes, they should be helped. They need a lot of support, guidance, and that should be given without any, their mistakes have to be considered, LPSE, and then, carefully train them up. So like that, so you can see, if the culture is kept intact, then everything becomes easier. So here we can see Maharaj Parikshit, because he has never allowed Kali to enter. No materialistic quarrels. No quarrels for sense gratification. He never allowed Kali to enter like that. And he never allowed the community to fall into illusion. There is one more. Illusion means Maya. So if we can maintain these two, then everything becomes everybody will be peaceful, they are fearless. So there should be strong culture of Krishna consciousness. Then everybody can be very happy and peaceful. So that's such a nice king. Parikshit Maharaj was like that. What a lineage. What a family. And what kind of a powerful personality. And then he's a great rishi himself. Such an exalted personality. Such a king was cursed simply for some small mistake. Can you see what a big it is? Urur dhama drutaha. It is such a big offense. Shaptam adadarham. He is never to be condemned. He is such an exalted personality. That's why when we see some mistakes in our seniors or whatever, we should not, simply speculate. Unless it is very, very gross and all that, any managerial mistakes and this and that, we should not speculate. Oh, it should have been done like that, it should have been done like this. There is no end to it. It can be done in 100 ways. There is no end to it. So we cannot condemn every action. Then we cannot be happy. Inside the heart we cannot be happy. Because that offenses are like that. If our chanting is mechanical, not improving, that means maybe we are offending other Vaishnavas. The first offense is not to offend the Vaishnavas who are spreading holy name. So if we don't respect appropriately, respectful dealings are missing, then we cannot even transcend the first offense to Harina. What to talk about this attention management and all those things that we are hearing. We cannot even cross the first one. So learn how to nicely respect each other. There should be a good culture of respect and trust. These are two things, respect and trust. We trust Vaishnavas. If somebody says, I am not well, Prabhu, trust. How you are not well? You are eating okay. You took this, you took that. How you are not well? All those things we are not going to say. So we respect and we trust the devotees. Each one of us should be like that. Trust Vaishnavas and give proper respect, due respect. Then we are happy. Okay? But don't misuse. Somebody is trusting me, and if I misuse, I lie or manipulate, then that is not good. You will get offenses again. You will get reactions. So that's why carefully manage these two. These two are very powerful. All our life is about this only. Respect management and trust management. These are the two things. Because Shrungi has disrespectfully spoken about Maharaj Parikshit. Because he is saying you're a pacha, you're a dog, all those things, very, disrespectful. That's why, although he has done a small mistake, he has given a big punishment. This is a problem. But if proper respect is there towards Parikshit Maharaj, Shrungi wouldn't have done. Like Shamika Rishi. Shamika Rishi knows exalted position of a king. What a hard work he does. So Shamika Rishi felt, no, what is this inexperienced boy? He has committed a big mistake. He could understand. See, it's a calculation of respect. So that's why manage nicely. Respect should be managed. Trust should be managed. For small things, don't lose trust. Small things, don't lose respect. Okay? So then we are safe. Happily we can practice. Be simple in heart. Nicely serve Vaishnavas. Nicely serve Guru's mission. And nicely serve the Supreme Lord. Very simple. Be very simple and happily serve. Then your chanting will improve, your happiness will improve. You will enjoy the process. Otherwise, fault finding, no respect, no happiness, no satisfaction. This is not our life. Okay, so, but it is not an issue. Wherever you may be today, you can always improve, change your internal thinking calculations, be very favorable, Krishna conscious, then things will improve automatically. Any questions? Yeah.
Generally, human tendency is whenever we come across through some persons, our mind will calculate about, it will try to calculate about the top in person. So here also should we try to estimate the value of thing and we wrongly estimates any causes. How to come out of that mentality? Generally, every person will be very.
Yeah, generally when we come across somebody that is there, we want to know what kind of a person is. Let us say that person is having a torn shirt and a simple lungi, and then are very simple dress like that, and then is moving around. And let us say you meet him, so you really don't know what kind of a person is. So in our mind we are thinking, what kind of a person? Then we'll say, can we have your visiting card, or we will ask some question, who are you, what you do? And then he says, yeah, Swamiji, I am, this and that. I have 100 companies. I have 5,000 crore turnover. Immediately, preacher knows. His behavior changes. But let us say he says, yes, Swamiji, I am there in the nearby Basti, and I live in a rented house. Then you will say, now why did you come here? And why are you disturbing? Of course, devotee's mood will not be like that, but ordinarily that's how the dealings goes on. Because there is no varnashrama, there is no culture. Estimations are all done on the basis of money. This is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga culture means money. All the estimation. Varnashrama is not like that. You may look very skinny and then apparently not very this and that. But if he is a Brahmana, immediately so much respect is given. You read the pastime of Brahmana Sudhama Vipra visiting Dwaraka. Oh, they are all shocked at that Dwaraka. All those servants of Krishna who is there in the palace, they are shocked. How can this Brahmana be seated on the bed, Krishna's personal bed? And then Sudhama was seated there. Rukmini Devi is fanning, goddess of fortune. She is fanning Sudhama. Look at this. See, that's a different culture. They are not going by his dress and all those things. They are saying his quality. Qualities are very good, exalted qualities, Sudhama has. Brahmanical quality. In fact, he is a Mahabhagavata. So similarly, in the Vaishnava community, we should go by that. We see that, other Vaishnavas, they are also chanting. They are also serving. See how sincerely he is serving. How nicely they are working hard. Every day I see this Prabhu in, chanting time, sadhana time. See, this is what we calculate. If we want to calculate, this is what the calculation is. Generally, whoever is initiated before me, they are all my seniors, they are respectful, Hare Krishna. No more calculation. You will be calculating how to give respect. How to. You may not communicate to him. You may not go and say, Prabhu, you are this and you are so great. All those things may not be there. Every day if you do, it's a different problem. But inside the heart, you should develop that respect. Because this respectful nature spreads. What is the meaning of spreads? It comes towards Guru also. So much respect. Then it gets applied to Guru, and then applies to Krishna. Applies to Gauranithai, Goswamis, it spreads. The respect towards Krishna we already have. Guru also we are. So our problem is different. Now we have to respect the Vaishnavas. Neophyte means he respects only Guru and Krishna. He doesn't know how to respect others. But we cannot remain like that. You should know how to respect others nicely. Then you will see your devotional service goes to a different level. Okay, so that's why this respect management and trust management, very important. Okay, so understood. Our calculation of who is he is been simplified in our community. What is that? Generally, if he is initiated before me, Hare Krishna. He is my senior. Let us say you see some issues in him. Don't worry, there are some people who are taking care. There is some issue created to you by somebody. That time, yes, you can go and escalate to your seniors. Say, Prabhu, I felt little like this. He is my senior, but bring it to your notice. That's all. You are not going to condemn anybody. You are not going to, minimize anybody directly. You will simply take it up and Hare Krishna. Then we are safe. Okay, see here Shamika Rishi is worried that his son is now committed a big offense. Offenses, no, it's very difficult. So he's worried. So we should also be very fearful about offenses. Offenses to Vaishnavas, offenses to Guru, Krishna. Read King Rahuguna's pastime, Rahuguna and Jad Bharat. Raghuna says, I am not worried about thunderbolt. I am not worried about sun. I am not worried about this. I am not worried. They may be very powerful. I am worried about the offense towards a Brahmana. Just a Brahmana. More than him is Vaishnava. So you can imagine. Okay, so that's why nicely, respectfully you serve the Vaishnavas, Guru's mission, help everybody, cooperate with everybody, help. If he is junior to you, you help him. Or if you are seniors, this and that, cooperate, nicely cooperate. If I can cooperate with Prabhu can achieve one more. If I can help my preacher, Prabhu can meet one more contact. Or if I can help my folk guide, he can preach to one more folk boy. Like that we should think. If you are assisting, assistant should think like this. If I can assist my Prabhu, he can approach one more, or he can do one more. Or let us say you are serving your HOD or somebody like that. Should know. If I can save some time for my Prabhu, then he can preach to some more people, or his department can expand little more, 1 more inch, 1 more foot. Like that we should. It's a personalism, what we are following. If I am serving somebody, yes, he is my immediate authority. Personalism, this Prabhu I should serve so that he can do something bigger. We are very specific. Person. Krishna, that's all, person. We are very specific, you see, when it comes to Krishna, Supreme Personality. He has got a lot of forms, but Krishna. And that too, not even Dwaraka Krishna. Krishna in Vrindavan. Our whole parampara is that Krishna. See, we are very specific about personalities. Similarly, in our day-to-day interactions, we should be very specific about personalities. We cannot club everybody and say, everybody is like this, everybody is like that. No. So we have to fight impersonalism in our minds. Boy, it's not easy. We generalize, we'll make everybody one. Fight impersonalism, individuality, respect that, individual contributions, individual brightness. Some people in one angle will be very bright. Recognize that. Very good, Prabhu is very nice. this tune is nice, this service is nice, this preparation is nice. Always glorify like that. There's so much to appreciate. Appreciate that. The way we expertly find faults, same thing. Expertly find good things. That's all. We are safe. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Please subscribe to our channel and press the bell